Nick, welcome to the Exchange Wire office. Welcome to my kitchen.
Oh, thanks for having me, John.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for coming in. First off, before we kick into our conversation, all-important question, what drink have you chosen for today?
I chose tea because I already had 3 coffees this morning.
That's a very fair choice for an afternoon recording session as well. I could have done the same, but I'm sticking with my format and I've gone for a double espresso today, so that will certainly fuel the chat. First off, Nick, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, you're the founder of Tug Agency, so tell me how you got started and how Tug got started.
Well, yeah, I'm originally from Canada. I'm originally from Toronto, but I actually really started my advertising career in London, at Ogilvy Interactive in 1998, working on the American Express account, and grew up with Ogilvy. It was in sort of 2005 that I really became interested in search and search engine marketing. At the time, actually, IBM, I think it was 2004, Ogilvy always sort of built the Wimbledon website for IBM, and IBM very forward-thinkingly asked Ogilvy to bring media in, to buy the media at the same time. So this whole idea of media plus creative was born a bit before their time. It's now a big conversation. But yeah, and I also started learning about PPC and went off to start Tug. We started as a PPC agency, and then very quickly a PPC and SEO agency. So really started as a search engine marketing agency in London, on Leonard Street in the basement of Vice magazine, surrounded by Vice magazines.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you said 2006, so 20 years of Tug. That's you've been at this quite a while now.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and actually, it reminds me, I need to organize a party. It's October. It'll be October 2026. That will be 20 years. So watch out for the invite.
Oh, I'll absolutely do that. I know, and congratulations on that. That is a shift.
Thank you.
And I mean, media's changed a lot in that time. The whole industry's changed a lot. The landscape's changed, and leadership, I think, in itself has probably changed. You know, you founded the agency. Tell me about the biggest shifts that you've seen. Like, how has, since the beginning of Tug, what's changed the most for you? What's the shift in the landscape been like?
Well, it's really interesting because, as I said, we started as a search engine marketing agency, so a search agency. And then, I don't know, as the buzzwords changed, more what the clients were looking for, we sort of evolved into a performance marketing agency. And that term is still used today, and people still look for performance marketing, but it's really that bottom of the funnel. And I very consciously wanted to evolve into a media agency, and we're a full-service media agency now, all through the funnel. And that's what our clients expect from us and want from us. But it's really interesting. If you told me even 2 years ago that I'd start referring to the agency as a search agency again, I would have said that's crazy. But you know, we're now looking and sort of explaining our services to clients as a sort of media planning and strategy and data, and then media. But now we're referring to media as more that top of the funnel and middle of the funnel. Okay. And we're talking about search again. Really, you know, the search engine results page has changed a lot, and this is a lot due to the element, a lot due to AI. Yeah. Discoverability has changed completely. We're the global agency of record for Merlin Entertainments for search engine optimization. And over the last 18 months, we've done proofs of concepts for them around social search. Suddenly, you know, how do people search on Instagram? How do people search on YouTube? It has suddenly become important, and can we optimize against that? And then, of course, AI search and geo, and how content plays in that. So now we're talking about search being PPC, SEO, geo, social search, and content. So I think that's a really interesting full circle shift. Yeah.
Completely, yeah, and that's so interesting because obviously, you know, it seemed for a long time like the game was up with search. There was only one kind of place for it, and now this fragmented landscape where people are searching and all different things. You know, I've read a while ago that TikTok's one of the hottest search engines in the world now because it's just where people search for their content, same with YouTube. And now, yeah, we're always going to get onto the AI question because it's huge across the industry, but the LLMs and search in there as well. So that's, yeah, the fact that it's come around again to search, that must be fascinating. What else have you seen? Kind of, how have you adapted and changed over the years as well?
I think from a leadership and sort of staff point of view, sort of, it used to be, and we still have a very strong client service department at Tug. And interestingly, because we've been around for 20 years, we do sort of see that cyclical, it comes, the need for client service to be that one point of contact for client sort of ebbs and flows. I actually think it's back since COVID. But there was a period when client service was really important because, dare I say, clients weren't as sophisticated as they are now. And so that you'd had the people doing PPC and doing SEO, and they had to be sort of very technical, and someone needed to be there to translate. And actually, more and more, the clients are very sophisticated. A lot of them have come from agency and very technically driven. And so before COVID especially, there was this almost like, is client service dead? They didn't want to pay for it anymore. I think for different reasons now, I think it's come back. I think partly because clients aren't in the office as much. They're all working from home. It becomes a bit more difficult for them to coordinate, and actually they're starting to look again for one point of contact. I think also, to your point, the landscape has fragmented so much. For a time it felt like there was only going to be two walled gardens, Google and Meta.
That's it.
But now, Reddit's huge, Pinterest's huge. So actually the idea of having someone that you can go to and ask for advice and then to sort of spread that out with the teams is important again. So that also has come full circle. And
completely, and it's like as platforms change, as other players come into the market, as audience trends change, there is that, I think that client service is a really interesting point, because all of a sudden clients need service again. They don't understand, they have maybe got complacent over the years knowing exactly where everything's going. And now things are different. They need expertise in different areas, and they need that kind of hand-holding again, that kind of people to show them what works, why it works, and this expertise that comes with client services. I think a lot of strength comes from independence in this. We've talked about this a lot in terms of the holdco model, the threats for the holdco model. Independent agencies have a chance to be nimble here. Do you think that in times where stuff's fragmented, this is an opportunity for independence?
Absolutely. I'm really excited. I mean, it's a structural advantage. We absolutely have less layers. We're not beholden to any publishers through those big holdco deals, and yeah, we can move much faster. The technology that we're building, which I'd love to tell you about, the AI-driven technology that we've been building. My CTO and the teams come to me not once a month with new changes, not even once a week, like every day we've added this, because of this need from this client. And the networks, the holdcos aren't able to do that. There's just layers and layers of approval. Why are we doing that? Why are we investing in that? Whereas I can give our data science and developer teams the freedom to move quickly based on the problems they're seeing, the challenges that clients are having right there and then.
And that's like that, being able to be that nimble. It's such a fast mover advantage, I suppose, for you. And like you say, the holdcos, the big agencies take a while to get stuff approved, to turn around. Whereas we're seeing a lot more coming from the independents in terms of the innovation. And I'm going to give you the floor to talk about your AI innovations as well, because I'm fascinated in what you're doing.
But yeah, before I do that, the other thing, from a media point of view, I've talked to people at some of the networks that say, clients, big brands that we've all heard of that are only spending $50 million a year, they won't get looked after by the networks. There's such an opportunity for independents to support these brands that want to move quickly and nimbly. From AI and from the technology point of view, we're super, super excited. We like to talk about the technology we built at Tug. It's really for two purposes. One, for internal efficiency, to improve our operating model, to allow us to move faster, to do things that maybe clients aren't willing to pay for anymore, like maybe write meta descriptions and that sort of thing, so that we can focus on creativity and media strategy and that sort of thing. And then, of course, we're building technology for really specific client marketing challenges, and there's a real market for it because sort of the large technology builders, oddly, there isn't that scale to build these sort of really bespoke, dare I say, smaller technologies to solve just one-off problems for clients. From an AI point of view, we've built an AI inclusion and AI advocacy technology. Right. We're still looking for a name, to jump in. Discovery intelligence. We've been calling it Compot internally.
Oh, yes. Yeah, good.
Do you like Compot? It sounds like jam, layers, but yeah, I mean, more and more, as you know, AI is part of that discovery journey. It's sometimes the first part of that journey between for brands and consumers. So yeah, we've built a measurement element. So how are you included for this goal, for this number of prompts versus your competitors? Are you included, and how often are you first, second, or third? And there's quite a bit of technology in the marketplace that does that. But what we're excited about, and what we'd like to think our USP is we then take it further and understand from the AI's point of view why they're recommended or why they're not recommended, why they're advocated for, which then spits out recommendations, everything from content recommendations to paid media recommendations, some surprising recommendations that I wouldn't have expected. So as I said, we work with Merlin Entertainments, and for them, we're doing SEO, social search, and generative experience optimization. And one of the venues we were looking at and talking to them about, and the prompt was around great holidays with a family of different aged kids, and it actually suggested that they rename parts of their resort to focus on these, and
wow.
And as a media agency or performance agency, we're not used to giving that advice to our clients, but yeah. So it's really exciting, and we're finding a lot more brands are coming to us to use that technology, but we also have the services to go along with it to help improve their inclusion, help improve when and how often they're advocated for.
Yeah, and I think that's a key point that I find fascinating at the moment, is where we use AI as the tool that it can be and harness the power of it. And agencies, for me, from my standpoint, can't afford to lose the human touch. You need people that you're dealing with. You need people who can show you how this stuff and have their own level of creativity. Do you think that's still a balance we're going to need to find as AI develops?
Yeah, absolutely. I think people want the option. I mean, there's obviously been a lot of in-housing by brands over the years. And as I said, clients are very sophisticated, and there are certain elements, and depending on the vertical, things that I even think make sense that they have in-house and that they work on. So we've got a hybrid model that they can use our technologies to work with their in-house teams, but absolutely, we're there to support them with services. I think 2026 is the modern media agency needs to deliver service plus technology. It's not enough to just do amazing media planning and buying. We've built a causal measurement tool called Real Impact, which can prove the incremental impact of an out-of-home campaign, can prove the incremental impact of a podcast, which is a bit the holy grail. And so, we marry our top of the funnel and middle of the funnel services with this measurement capability. And the same with AI. We marry this inclusion measurement and advocacy measurement with our geo services. So yeah, I think that's what a modern agency should be doing in 26.
Yeah, it's the marriage of both the technical and the human aspect as well. Last question before I let you go. So we've seen, I think over the years since you started Tug, we've seen the nature of kind of how performance is measured, expected through agencies change and alter, and the tides ebb and flow. What does performance mean for you in 2026?
Oh, does performance mean? I mean, in some ways it hasn't changed. It's always about results. But to your point about measurement, that has become more difficult.
Yeah.
I think there was always the sense that was going to get easier. And in some ways it was when there was only two walled gardens of Meta and Google. But as that's fragmented, it's more complicated than ever. So yeah, I mean, the technology we've been building, I mentioned Real Impact, our causal measurement technology, but we've also built sort of our Lift Analytics, which is our correlation technology, which helps show immediately if a brand campaign is having an effect by measuring click-through rates and conversion rates at the bottom of the funnel. So it's still about results, but as I said, attribution is tougher than it's ever been. So we need to find technologies and systems to prove incrementality to clients, to their board, and to their investors.
Amazing. Well, I will say best of luck on Compots, Tapenade, whatever you choose to call it.
Tapenade, okay.
You're going fancy there.
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks very much for joining me, Nick. That was a great chat. And best of luck with the next 20 years of Tug. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Cheers.